What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Today in this video we're going to talk about Tomb.finance. Guys, this is on the Fantom chain. I think we've only done one video on Fantom, but we're going to start doing a couple more just so you guys can just see how it works and what it's looking to do. But first off, guys, we have to get our funds onto Fantom, and you guys know the drill. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys do three things: like, subscribe, bell button, leave a comment below in that description saying you subscribed. You'll automatically get thrown into that drawing to earn $100 in free BTC. All right, guys. So this farm, it is a fork of other farms that have been audited that passed the Surtech audit, but in like all in all, this farm did not get its own audit, like just period in general. It hasn't been audited yet. This farm's only been around for a month, so do keep that in mind, guys. All the funds that you're going to throw into here, consider it like AKA lost, or consider it something like, hey, I don't care if I lose these funds. Just keep that in mind. All right, so we're going to show you guys how to get on Fantom. The favorite bridge, or my favorite bridge and period I like to use, is Xpollinate. I'm going to bring my funds straight over from Matic to Fantom, and I'm going to bring over USDC. So I'm going to go ahead and hit swap, and we'll see what happens. So it's going to bring up the ledger, and you guys are seeing the gas fee, and you're like, oh, wow, what? Why is that so high? Actually, it's not high at all. It's super cheap. It's on Matic. I was just messing with you. It's not an ETH. And I'm going to hit confirm. So it says wait for the transaction plus 10 different confirmations. So the reason why you have to wait that long is mainly on the Matic side, so that's something to keep in mind as well. However, for Fantom has 2-second finality. I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, dude, Solana's got like 100,000 transactions per second, or oh yeah, Ethereum's got 14 transactions per, or well, about 20 transactions per second. It's like, oh, well, okay. Well, Fantom actually has 2-second finality. So why is this important? Well, you can have as many transactions per second as you want, but the finality is what really matters. So like, for example, let me relate to you Ethereum Classic. So a lot of people were saying, well, not a lot of people, but some Ethereum Classic speculators, they were saying, oh yeah, I think Ethereum Classic is going to go to the moon just because it has Ethereum in its name. Well, no, not really. So what was happening was people would try to deposit it to an exchange, but they had to wait for like, I don't know, 50,000 confirmations or 5,000 confirmations. It was some astronomical number. So they would deposit the funds to the exchange, but they couldn't do anything with it. They had to wait till all the confirmations were done. However, with Fantom, it's got 2-second finality. So that is massive. That's a game changer. Anyways, guys, the transfer was made. So let's see what happens. Well, that didn't work on Xpollinate, so I used the Evo DeFi bridge, and it worked in like 10 seconds. So pretty cool. I actually kind of like the Evo DeFi bridge, except the fees are astronomical. They're about 5 times the price of Xpollinate. It's it's 0.5%. So that's kind of ridiculous, but hey, it is what it is. I just got to get the video out there for you guys. So let's go and explain Tomb.finance. First off, we need to get on to Fantom. So we are on Fantom. We have some tokens on Fantom, so we can go ahead and make some swaps. And now we have some USDC over here to play around. All right, so we got our tokens over here, and now we got to understand Tomb.finance. All right, guys, so this one's a little bit complex. I went over it a couple times trying to understand it, but I did understand it, and I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you at the best of my abilities, which are horrible. But first off, you guys need to know this is the first algorithmic stablecoin on Fantom. And I'm going to explain to you guys a couple of important pieces behind this actual project, or AKA farm. So let's go ahead and give you guys the first 3 tokens that you need to know about. So here are the tokens. First off is you have the Tomb token. Tomb's whole entire goal is to stay at 1 Fantom. So guys, once you understand how to play the game, or understand how the game works, you've got to try to find cheat codes and different things to make it work in different strategies. That's how I look at all these farms. It's all like a big video game, and I'm a big gamer. I love this junk. But anyways, Tomb's token is designed to be used as a medium of exchange. So it's trying to be a quote-unquote algorithmic stablecoin, so staying at the peg price of 1 Fantom. Now you're asking yourself, well, right now it's priced at $1.77 or 1.77 FTM. There's something wrong. It's not right. Well, yeah, you're right. So its goal is to stay at 1, and it does fluctuate from time to time, and it has different mechanisms for doing so. But let me explain the tokens before we get into the nitty-gritty, guys. Next is you have the Tomb shares. So what are TShares? Well, Tomb shares are a way to measure the value of the Tomb protocol and shareholder trust and ability to maintain Tomb close to its peg. So basically, during expansion, or when the protocol is minting Tomb and distributing proportionally, it will give it to all the T shareholders who are staked in Masonry. So you can go over to Masonry and you can stake your TShare. And just for staking TShare, all right, so let's look at the pools real quick. So you have TShare and Fantom LP. So for the TShare and Fantom LP, you're getting about 1,000% APR, and it does fluctuate from time to time. And you're looking at it like, why the pants would I do that? Well, if you're bullish on the project, you can do the TShare token and Fantom. But you guys know how it is. In my opinion, don't buy what you can earn. But then again, you have to look at it like, hey, you got to prime the pump. You got to buy the water initially so you can start flowing water. But again, guys, these farms all in all are going to go to 0. Keep that in mind, or at least 99.9999999% of them. So just keep that in mind, guys. And all these little DeFi protocols or farming tools that you use, just keep that in mind. The next one is the Tomb/Fantom LP token. Now, this one is somewhat like a stable coin if you think about it, because Tomb is supposed to be pegged 1-to-1 to Fantom. So right now, the Tomb token is trying to be 1 Fantom. And if you're staking 1 Fantom on the other side, 1-to-1 is, well, that's quote unquote a stable coin. But it's still going to be very volatile. But in my opinion, it's not going to be as volatile as something like the TShare token. As you guys can see, it literally came from like 8,000. No, geez. It came from like $12,000 and now it's down to like 3,000. It's pretty volatile. But then again, you got to look at this one and you're like, wow, this one's really volatile too. This is the Tomb token. It literally came out from like 50 Fantom tokens. And these are all priced in Fantom, guys, by the way. So the other one wasn't $12,000. I'm sorry. It was more so like $4,000. But this one came from like 50 Fantom down to $1.77. But again, its whole goal is to get to around 1 Fantom. So that's good. It kind of came down in fluctuation. Would have got rid of a lot of impermanent loss, but you were probably heavily rewarded for being early in the ecosystem. But then again, that's just how all these quote-unquote Ponzi schemes work. I'm not calling this one a Ponzi scheme, but that's how a Ponzi scheme works. So also about the TShare, there's a maximum supply of 70,000 tokens. The DAO allocation, so the DAO, they get 5,500 TShare, and this is vested linearly over 12 months. So what that means is it's basically dripped. So it's not, they don't get the full 55,000 or 5,500. It's just a small amount that is given to the DAO. Same thing with the team. It's a small drip. And then the 59,500 is slowly given out over 12 months. So right now this has only been about a month. So you'll start getting a lot of the TShare tokens. So that's interesting. Next is the Tomb bonds. This is the third token. The main job is to incentivize changes in Tomb supply during an epoch contraction period. What does this mean? T-bonds mostly take effect when the Tomb token gets below 1 Fantom. Remember, the Tomb token is your token that is trying to stay pegged to 1 Fantom. And in order to get some T-bonds, you can actually buy them when Tomb is below a certain price. So now let me explain how this arbitrage would work. So here's the examples that they have with the incentives behind holding T-bond. So first off, you can sell your T-bond for Tomb when the peg is between 1 to 1.1. So there's no redemption bonus for doing that. So this is to prevent instant dump after peg is recovered. So this allows it to recover it a bit. Second is you can sell back your T-bond for Tomb while the peg is above 1.1 with a bonus redemption rate. The longer you hold, the more both the protocol and you benefit from T-bonds. So this is the example that they have. Example 1, When Tomb equals 0.8, burn 1 Tomb to get 1 TBond. So you're basically getting TBond for the price of 0.8. So a 20% discount. Now when Tomb equals 1.15, redeem 1 TBond to get 1.105 Tomb. So basically you're getting 1 Tomb for the price of that 1 TBond where you paid 0.8. So you're basically getting a big arbitrage in that. So it's just like, dude, it's free money. So that's how the T-bonds work. It's incentivizing a arbitrage situation. So one thing you need to know about the T-bonds, they're basically unique tokens that can be utilized to help stabilize the Tomb price. Now, T-bonds can only be purchased on contraction periods. So basically when the Tomb is below 1. So when the Tomb, aka the stablecoin, is below 1, you can purchase some of these T-bonds. So like I explained earlier, you can partake in the arbitrage. When it goes above peg, then you can go ahead and sell the T-bonds back for Tomb. What happens when you're purchasing these T-bonds is you are actually burning your Tomb tokens, decreasing the supply. So that's why it causes the price to go up, because you're decreasing the supply. If you understand how supply and demand mechanics work, the lower amount of supply and the greater demand you have, the higher the price is, and vice versa. So now that we understand those parts, let's go ahead and go over a couple of features on the platform just so you guys can understand this. First off is each epoch is 6 hours. Why is this important? Well, if you're depositing your TShares into any of these pools, well, this is the only pool, you're going to have to hold it for 6 epochs. So it's about 36 hours, so about 1.5 days. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So don't be like, oh, what the snap, I can't withdraw. Well, dude, read the docs. You got 6 epochs, so wait it out. Tomb rewards can only be claimed 3 epochs later. So that's something to keep in mind as well. It's not instant rewards that can be claimed. Tomb is only distributed to TShare holders during expansion. So when it goes below that 1 peg, then no Tomb will be released. And this is how the distribution goes. 80% to stakers, 18% to the DAO fund, and 2% to the dev fund. Again, Masonry will not mint any Tomb while TWAP is below 1. So time weighted average price is below 1, etc. The Tomb token. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So a lot of you guys are asking, well, is this like Titan Finance or Iron Finance? Well, no, it's not. So Titan, what happened with them is they had a token that was 75% collateralized. Hence why, the Iron token. Hence why the Iron token is redeemable to 75 cents. What happened was they had a bank run. So what's really important for you guys to see is here's a couple of frequently asked questions I really think would help a bit to take a look at. But we're going to go ahead and go through these after we go ahead and deposit into the pools. So without further ado, let's finally get into it. I understand it was kind of long, but we'll go ahead and get into it. It's a fun game. And you have a couple of options. First off, you can just do an easy zap in. So zap in is just a one quick deposit. It says, hey, I want to deposit the maximum amount of Fantom, and just say boom, boom, and just swap it in. And this will automatically get the tokens that you want. But me personally, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go over to Spooky Swap. So Spooky Swap is where you can get the LP tokens, or the best way is to just go to the Stake Now pool. And if you go to the, not Stake Now, you go to the Cemetery. I'm going to do the Tomb Fantom LP. So in order to get these LP tokens, you need to provide liquidity for the Tomb Fantom pair. And I'm just going to click this button and it's going to take me over there. So here's supply, Fantom, Tomb, and let's go ahead and swap it in. First off, I got to go buy some Fantom. I have some USDC on this chain. So I'll go ahead and swap for USDC to Fantom. So if I go to the swap page, we're going to do USDC for Fantom. So let's say USDC, and we're also going to get the Tomb tokens now. So I'm going to get 50% Tomb tokens and 50% Fantom. So right now I'm collecting the 50% in USDC to get the tomb. And yeah, guys, it's not Polygon anymore, so the gas fees are a lot higher, so keep that in mind. You may need to adjust your slippage in order to get the transaction to go through, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Unfortunately, we're dealing with some smaller altcoins. Alright, so now we got our tokens. We are going to go ahead and supply our tokens, and make sure you leave enough Fantom for your gas fees. And you probably have to increase the slippage some. Yeah, we're gonna have to increase it even more. Wow, this is crazy. Gotta love. Oh wait, I went the opposite way. That's why it was crazy. So we're gonna do 0.5%, and we are going to confirm. I definitely have enough balance, so I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna go ahead and refresh the page. Sometimes that happens, especially when I'm recording. But gotta love the slow internet, right? So I'm gonna take the slippage to 1%. And I'm going to hit supply. I'm using the maximum amount of tomb tokens, and I'm going to hit confirm. So the transaction's submitted, and now we wait. So while that's going through, I'm going to go over to tomb, and once my tokens show up, I probably need to just connect. There we go, my tomb's available, and now I will refresh this page. So I'll hit approve tomb LP and hit bada bing, approve. And while that transaction's going through, we'll go ahead and deposit it into there. But we're going to explain a couple numbers. So what's the biggest thing you got to remember? The daily APR is what you're looking at. And also the yearly APR. Now, this isn't auto-compounded, so that's something to keep in mind as well. They do have some other auto-compounders, like you can come over to Beefy Finance, and Beefy Finance will beef up them gains for you. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to sell your tokens that you earn and purchase back the Tomb Fantom LP tokens. So if you don't want to deposit back and forth, you can also go with this option as well. So if you're wanting to earn some of the TShare, you can deposit into here as well. Me personally, what I think I will do is probably use Beefy Finance, and I will deposit into here. And that way it'll automatically auto compound for me, so I don't have to constantly pay the gas fees, because obviously I'm not dealing with a huge number. And as you guys can see, I've already spent, well, not a crazy amount of Fantom, but I started spending some Fantom. So I'm probably just going to use Beefy Finance and let them deposit it for me. Yes, I understand there is a 1% withdrawal fee, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But this is one of those things I can deposit into here, sit it, forget it, let it do its thing. So I'm going to go ahead and click the maximum amount, and then I'm going to click deposit all. And I know you guys are looking at it and you're like, dude, it's paying 1.47 million%. Well, it's not technically 1.47 million% because that's the APY. That's the annual yield per year. That's if you're compounding it every single time. But guys, these rewards are not always going to be the same. So that's something to keep in mind as well. The reason I'm going to use Beefy is because it's automatically going to compound this stuff and I don't have to worry about the gas fees. Now, there's something you need to keep in mind as well though. When you are depositing this, it's auto compounding it, so it is not selling and getting your principal back. Whenever or after a certain amount of time, I would recommend you take like 25, 10% out, or take a certain percentage out, withdraw and sell them, guys, because remember, the Tomb token is not Fantom. So you are going to buy the dip. If Tomb goes to 0, you're basically going to buy the dip on it. There is a possibility that can go to 0. That's why I don't deposit all my money into here, guys. This is just a example. As you guys can see, I'm dealing with $700. It's money that I'm okay with losing. It's one of those things like, okay, let's see what happens. Again, guys, these farms are super risky, so you guys have to be careful. So now that you understand the tokens, how to deposit, how we provided liquidity, how we use Spooky Swap, let's go ahead and explain a couple of more things. These are the frequently asked questions I really think will help you because they helped me a lot. Why would someone buy Tomb when it's above peg? It is specifically designed to meet the price of Fantom. And I was asking myself that the same. I was like, why the pants am I paying overpriced? Well, it's first off, you're getting the rewards. So you're betting that in the medium to long term, the high APR will outpace inflation and impermanent loss, aka, well, are you getting in early on the Ponzi? Well, if we look at the TVL, there's only about 7 million in the Ponzi. It seems like it could be high, it could be low. We don't know, because I mean, like PancakeSwap is like over several billion. It was one of those farms that actually took off. So guys, there are going to be some farms that take off. Like Polycat was one of the OGs that was on Polygon. Tomb.finance is one of the OGs that is on Fantom. So again, time will tell. We'll see what happens. And here are some price charts you guys can take a look at as well. I'll leave links in the description below. But basically, it's zoocoin.cash. That's where you can find them. Next is question 2. If Tomb has been built to meet the price of Fantom, why isn't it going down in a straight line? Well, we use DEFI finance. So what's going on? They're actually selling the TShare tokens that we're earning and buying the Tomb tokens. So that's increasing the buy pressure on it. So the more people that actually use DEFI is going to increase the price of Tomb, because more and more people are buying it. So when you're buying more on the market, it causes it to go up in price, because there's less supply, there's higher demand. And that's basically what it explains there as well. Why is there such crazy volatility for the TShare price? Well, the TShare price is mainly depending on speculative future value, or what returns it will produce when it's staked. Like right now, it's paying 1,500%. So it's influenced by the price of Tomb. So the higher the price of Tomb, the more valuable TShare is in the short term, because the inflationary rewards have a higher dollar value. Therefore, day-to-day volatility of Tomb will also likely have effect on the price of TShare. So the higher the price of Tomb, the higher the price of TShare. That's just something you guys got to keep in mind as well. It's like one of those things where you're playing a claw machine and the price can be $1 and it can be a bunch of stuffed animals, or it can be a $5 price tag and it could be a bunch of $100 bills, iPads, iPhones, and you'd be willing to pay the $5 one because greater risk, greater reward type of thing, or higher dollar, higher reward, whatever. How can I figure out the future Tomb rewards will be in the masonry? Well, say you have 1 TShare staked out of 10 total, which means you get 10% of the total Tomb emissions. This is a theoretical example, because remember, there's a capped supply at 70,000. So if the Tomb circulating supply is 10,000 Tomb and the emission is 4%, that means there's going to be 400 Tomb every epoch. How many epochs are there? Well, there's 1 epoch every 6 hours. So theoretically, you would be getting 40 Tomb because you own 10% of the network. If you want to know how many TShares there are in circulation, right now there's 5,121. So if you go and look at the masonry and seeing how many tokens are being released with the Tomb, you need to see how many tokens are in circulation. So at this given time, there's 344,000 or 3,447,295. So what does that mean? Well, it's not 500K or less. It's 500K or more. The circulating supply is more than 1 million, more than 1.5. It's more, so it's got a 2.5% expansion. So we are going to take, we'll just call it 3.5 million, and then we'll times that by 0.025, and that's going to give us 87,500 Tomb every epoch. So how do we get this valuation now? So now we go back over to the TShares. If I own 1 out of 5,122 of the TShares, so let's say I own, we'll call it 1 of them. I'll multiply the 87,500 times 0.000512, and that's going to give us 44 Tomb tokens. So basically in 6 hours, we will get 44 Tomb tokens if we have 1 TShare. So basically we're just going to be getting 44 free Fantom. And if you see the return on that, 1 TShare is costing you 3,167 Fantom. So 3,167 divided by 44. And that's going to give you, after 71 epochs, that's going to give you the return on investment. So we'll call it about 3, because there's about 3 epochs in a day. So about 24 days, you'll basically get your money back on TShare. That's how you can calculate the value of TShare. That's just a quick overview. Sorry if that was too complicated for you. But hey, I'm just trying to explain it to you guys as best I can. I want you guys to understand this as nice as possible because this is pretty complex and I think it's a cool concept. It's a cool game. I like this game, so it's interesting. We'll see how it works. Next is, once T-bonds are emitted, does the masonry stop printing Tomb until we are above peg again? Yes. T-shares will give you Tomb rewards when it's above the peg price, but when it's under the peg, it will not give any. So basically these T-bonds the T-shares, in my opinion, would be valueless at that point because no one's going to want them because it's not earning anything unless it's speculation that'll get above its peg. So that would be one of those things to keep in mind as well. Now, a lot of people are saying, yeah, there's a lot of auto compounding vaults. It's really what you're wanting to do. So if you're dealing with like 10 bucks, auto compounding is probably going to be the best way to go because gas fees are going to destroy you. But if you're dealing with like thousands of dollars, hey, I mean, you can compound it yourself, figure out your own strategies, and do what you think's best for you. And you can avoid the withdrawal fees. I'm just using the auto compounder so I don't have to deal with it, so I don't have to go back and forth. It's only 0.1%, and I really just don't want to go back and forth. I already deal with a bunch of other farms. I just want to give you guys a different setup and other examples. And this is also the example that they talk about iron finance. It is not collateral. There's no collateralization like there was on iron finance. Iron finance, they issued iron token for USDC. So it's one of those things like, oh, okay, that's how. So here's also another question that I thought was cool. What are a couple of examples of strategies, or what should I be doing here? How can I play the game? Here's a couple of examples. If Tomb is over the peg, buy TShare and stake it in masonry. What does that mean? Well, if you buy TShare, you're going to be earning like I told you, 44 per epoch right now at this rate if you've had one TShare. With any emissions you get from TShare, you can sell half for Fantom and provide liquidity in the Tomb Fantom pool. Yeah, that makes sense. The TShare rewards you get, sell half for Fantom and provide LP in the TShare Fantom pool, or stake the TShare rewards you get from the TShare Fantom pool in the masonry. Repeat and profit. Or if Tomb's under its peg, buy Tomb and exchange it for TBond and sell the TBond once Tomb is back over its peg. Profit. Yeah, that's good examples. And we already explained the circulating supply. We already went over most of this. But basically, a lot of people are asking, what's an expansionary epoch? Well, basically, this means that the TVL is more people are putting money in than less. So you got to understand that they have a money printer go burr right now with the Tomb token. They're basically just printing away. As you guys can see, this is constantly going to be expanding. Now, in order for it to keep expanding, it has to stay above 1. If it goes below 1, we're not going to be expanding anymore. How do we stay above 1? Well, we need people buying the Tomb tokens. So when people stop buying Tomb, it's going to go below 1 and stop issuing it, and it's not going to be print or go burr anymore. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Like I was explaining to you guys, I know people are like, oh, you're fudding it. No, I'm not fudding it. I'm telling you how a Ponzi scheme works. All these farms are similar to Ponzi schemes. If you get in early, you're going to be earning the most. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's one of those things to keep in mind, especially with the Tomb circulating supply, guys. It's going to be infinitely minted. So it's one of those things like, okay, let's see what happens. But again, guys, it's one of the OGs. It's still a low TVL. It's okay if you're playing with the house's money, so who cares what happens at that point. But if you're using like your money, you got to buy some ramen and give your kids toothbrush and Q-tips or whatever you give them, then it's like, well, you're probably making the wrong decision. Anyways, guys, this is not financial advice. This is just a long overview of Tomb Finance, and this is explaining on how it works, how to provide liquidity, and how you can take advantage of some of these auto compounders like Beefy, and how, well, they could possibly change the game for you. Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys do 3 things for me. Like, subscribe, bell button, leave a comment below in that description saying you subscribe. You'll automatically get thrown into that drawing to earn $100 in free BTC. And guys, also, I want to show you the other things. You guys are probably curious about this. This is where you can buy and redeem the bonds. It's in the pit. And the masonry is where you deposit your TShares. I'm not going to be earning TShares is because I'm selling them and I'm just buying more LP tokens. So that's the current strategy I'm using right now. And like I told you guys, the TVL is not going to stay that high. Literally while we're making this video, I guess people are aping in because it is going down. But hey, welcome to crypto. Let's go ahead and leave you guys with a wisdom one-liner, and I will leave all the links in the description. If I forget to add a link, just leave a comment and I'll add it in there. I'm pretty bad about adding links, but I'll remember this time. Proverbs chapter 22, verses 13. The sluggard says there's a lion outside. I'll be killed in the public square. Yeah, you will. Why don't you do something about it, Johnny? Dogs, got to say thanks to the patrons. Sean Bott, Da Man, Tariq Lou, TL King, JP, PJ, Bernito, Taco Nacho. Dogs, thanks for watching. Alright guys, if you want to catch me on TikTok, I do daily wisdom one-liners and let you guys see the pets and behind the scenes junk. So here it is, scan it, check it out, bomb. Alright, so next off guys, if you guys want to support the channel and get paid to do it, you guys can check out Celsius. Celsius is fire, dude. So what's so cool about Celsius is, guys, first off, you can get $40 in free BTC using my referral link in the description below. Just deposit $100. Add in the code BTC50. You will also get an additional $50 if you deposit $400, guys. It's free BTC. Next is Voyager, guys. I also got a referral link in the description below. Instead of just only getting $25, you'll get $25 and some free VGX tokens, guys. Next is BlockFi. BlockFi is part of the quadruple threat. Go ahead and make a deposit. Use this referral link in the description below. You get $100. Depending on how much you deposit, you can get all the way up to, guess how much? $250. Alright, so what the pants is Celsius and BlockFi for? Well, you can use both of those as like your bank. They get some pretty nice juicy yields. And Voyager is more so like trading, and it gets some juicy yields as well. And the last one to try is Crypto.com, guys. You can trade some like smaller altcoins, and you guys will get $25 in CRO once you guys get the Visa card. Why do I like the Visa card? Well, you can sell crypto and buy some junk with it. So I can buy a sandwich with my crypto. I don't use BTC, but I'll use like stable coins and junk. So anyways, if you guys want to support the channel, that's the quadruple threat. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You'll get paid to do it.